It is blazing hot outside, so hopefully it'll cool down. And yeah, if y'all haven't tried this, please go and get one now. It is the best Frappuccino that Starbucks has ever had. Hi everyone, and thank you for watching. So yes, I am outside again today. It's just too beautiful to be inside, but hopefully it'll be quieter over an area that I chose. So in lieu of the video today, I thought it would be appropriate to wear my Lily Pulitzer dress. Today I want to talk to you guys about 6 sorority tips and tricks that'll help you out if you're thinking about rushing. If you want to know how to get into a sorority, do's and don'ts, things of that nature. If you're 100% sure you want to rush a sorority, this will probably confirm whether or not you should be. If you don't want to rush a sorority, this will probably confirm that you shouldn't be in a sorority. Either way, hopefully these tips and tricks will help you out and guide you in the right direction. So if you want to learn more, please keep watching. Alright, so just to start off, telling you guys a bit about my sorority background. I rushed a Pan-Hellenic sorority. I'll get into what that is a bit later. The sorority that I was in was Kappa Delta. So that's what I did. I rushed my sophomore year. Like I said, graduated last year in May. So I am now a Kappa Delta alum. So that's just a bit of my sorority, background and experience. So on to tip number 1. Something that we tell all freshmen and anyone who's interested who is a freshman: do not rush your freshman year. Everyone who comes into a sorority thinks that they want to be in a sorority. They think, oh man, I want to be in this sorority for 4 years, and you're ready in your freshman year and you just want to dive right in. No. Do not rush your freshman year. You're just adjusting to life in college. You're adjusting to being away from home for the first time, most of you. You're adjusting to kind of being an adult, being independent. You don't need to rush your freshman year because joining a sorority is a full-time job and full-time commitment, and you need to concentrate on building your foundation for school first and then rush Greek. Sophomore through senior year is the best time period to join a sorority. But your freshman year, I highly advise against it. You won't get out of it what you need to get out of it because you'll still be settling. So don't do freshman year, just wait. Trust me, the sorority will still be there, and you'll probably be a bit more ready to handle the responsibilities when you rush your sophomore year. Side note, that is what I did. I rushed my sophomore year, and I never regretted not rushing my freshman year. Another tip is that you need to know the difference between Pan-Hellenic and National Pan-Hellenic. The foundation of both of these, organizations is the same, but they are kind of fundamentally different. So allow me to break it down for you. Pan-Hellenic is a group of fraternities and sororities that were mostly founded by white people. So that's what Pan-Hellenic is. The majority of the people in that Greek system, that side of the Greek system, are white. You do have some minorities in there, aka hello me. I was in there. I had a couple of other, there were a couple of other minorities who were in my sorority. They're working to make it more diversified, but the foundation of Pan-Hellenic, what most of the people in Pan-Hellenic look like, they're mostly white. Kind of like Sydney White, if y'all have seen that Amanda Bynes movie. Very similar to that. So now we're gonna hop over to National Pan-Hellenic. National Pan-Hellenic are the fraternities and sororities that are founded by, mostly minority groups. So you have things like Alpha Kappa Alpha and Delta Delta Delta, and the Divine Nine. So most minority-based fraternities and sororities are going to be over in National Pan-Hellenic. So it's going to look similar to Stomp the Yard. So those are kind of the differences between the two. Now please let me note this, just because what both of these organizations look like overall look different. The foundation of Pan-Hellenic and National Pan-Hellenic, what they hope to accomplish is the same. They both want to accomplish philanthropy, brotherhood, sisterhood, friendships, everything like that. And Pan-Hellenic and National Pan-Hellenic do events all the time. So it's really just you trying to figure out where you want to be, what side of the Greek system you want to be on. And I could do a whole video breaking this down, breaking down the difference between National Panhellenic and Panhellenic and what those experiences are. If you guys are interested in that, feel free to comment below. So just keep that in mind. Panhellenic, you're going to be looking at Sydney White, the movie Sydney White, and National Panhellenic is going to be more like Stomp the Yard. So both are amazing organizations. You just need to figure out which one works great for you. Now, this next tip is going to reference back to why I suggested you shouldn't rush your freshman year and why you should wait. I say that because the tip is make sure you really want to commit. Like I said before, being in a sorority, it is a huge time commitment. It's a huge responsibility, and it really does change who you are. It instills values in you that you didn't have before, things of that nature. And when you wait until your sophomore year, you kind of get to do recon your freshman year. You get to do research on the different sororities, maybe meet a couple of girls who are in the sorority, see which girls you get along with in each sorority. So the 5 that we had were Kappa Delta, Alpha Chi, Zeta, Theta, and Delta Gamma. And during my freshman year, I was able to hang out with the girls, kind of do a little bit of recon, see who I fit in with the most personality-wise, and the Kappa Delta girls were the ones who I really seemed to click with overall. So when you do rush, when you're waiting for your sophomore year to come around so that you can rush, just make sure you really want to commit. Make sure this is something that you really want to do, in your college career and even beyond. Just because you graduate doesn't mean that you're no longer in a sorority. It just means that you move on to being an alumni, and like myself, I'm still involved in my sorority. I'm part of the Kappa Delta New York Alumni Association. So, definitely, like I keep saying, just make sure that this is something that you really, really, really want to do. So this is one of the most important tips, and one that everybody's always asking about, the restroom. The most important tip that I can give you is to be yourself in the restroom. Don't be awkward. And if you are awkward, embrace that awkwardness, but also know how to have a basic conversation. When you go through rush, how it works is, at least mine, I went through a 5-day rush process. So I visited every sorority, and as the days went by, I would drop the sorority that I didn't want until we hit that last day. Then I had my top 2 sororities that I wanted, and then you had midday. But in the restroom, you need to just make sure to be yourself. Know how to have a basic conversation. If you don't know, if all you can do is provide one-word responses, then being in Greek isn't for you. Being in a sorority or a fraternity is all about being social, wanting to make new friends, wanting to connect, things like that. So if you're not a person who can carry on a basic conversation, I would suggest working on those skills. Working on talking about what your major is, why you selected that major, maybe where you're from. Just basic things like that will really help you along. If you are awkward, embrace that awkwardness, but be awkward and know how to talk. So that's very, very important. That is a huge deal breaker that will make or break you in the restroom, and you need to get through that restroom to move on to the next part of rushing and being part of the sorority that you want to be in. If you don't make it through the restroom, that's kind of the end of the room. So that's the biggest tip that I can give you. And like I said, the 3 biggest conversation topics that you can talk about and make sure to engage in are: what's your major, where are you from, why you chose that major, and talk about your family. So just keep those in your mind and have some really good answers ready so that the girls in the room can really engage with you. All right, so jumping off of the restroom, you then have on that last day, you have bid day. And something to keep in mind is that bid day does not make or break you. So what happens is, after you go through the rush process, you're gonna have a day where the sorority who's chosen you and that you've chosen, they're going to give you this thing called a bid. And this is what the card looks like. This is what I got from Kappa Delta on my bid day. So when you go into bid day, what's going to happen is you're probably going to be put in a room with, all 500 girls who are rushing, and you're going to be given a card. And on the count of three, at least how they did it in my bid day, was they said count of three, 1, 2, 3, open up your card, and oh my gosh, I got a bid from so-and-so sorority, and that means that sorority wants for you to start the process of joining and being initiated into their sisterhood. Now, bid day can either be a really happy day, or a really sad day. So on my bid day, I had girls who, were wise, and they chose more than one sorority to be a part of. Then you had the other girls who just chose one sorority, and if they didn't get that, when they didn't get that sorority, they were devastated. So something I'm going to tell you right now is when you rush, you need to go ahead and have 3 sororities that you'd be interested in joining. So have your first, and have a backup, then have a backup to your backup, because if you end up not getting your first choice, at least you'll have 2 others. Don't be one of those girls who just has one sorority, and then they decide that they don't think that you're a great fit, and bid day comes around, you get a bid from another sorority, and you're devastated. Use wisdom in that. Like I said, that goes back to my first tip freshman year. Do some recon. Get a list of top 3. Have those top 3 ready when you rush, and I promise you on bid day, it will be the best day of your life. Please don't be that girl crying in the corner because you only chose one sorority and you were stuck on that one sorority and you weren't open to any other one. Keep that in mind. It's some really, really, really imperative advice. Now, this is something that you hear in all of the movies and everything like that, and it's that you'll meet your best friends in your sorority, and I'm here to tell you that is true. I wouldn't say I met them in my sorority. I didn't meet them in Kappa Delta, but I met them in other sororities and fraternities. Some of my best friends were in Zeta and Alpha Chi, and a lot of my best friends were in the fraternity that I got really, really close to. You have this thing called a fraternity big. So when you rush, obviously in a sorority, you get a big sister, and you become a little sister. And you can also have a fraternity big and little. And once again, if you want to learn more about that, please comment below, and I can create a separate video on that as well. But you really will meet your best friends in Greek if you have an open mind. If you go into a sorority and you get initiated in, and you're just like, oh, I'm only going to hang out with my sorority sisters, and I'm only going to hang out with the fraternity that founded my sorority, you're going to miss out. That's, you're missing out on, thousands of people who you could be hanging out with, making great connections with, lifelong connections with, because you're so determined to stay in your niche. Don't be closed-minded. Be willing to meet anyone and everyone. That's what Greek is all about. Greek is all about connecting, making friends everywhere, and building a sister and brotherhood. So go outside of yourself, go outside your sorority and fraternity. Trust me, you will not regret it. You will meet your future bridesmaids and maid of honor and groomsmen, or whatever you think that you're supposed to find. You'll find them if you keep an open mind. All right, the 5th important tip is to stay true to yourself no matter what. So kind of like I mentioned before, when you join Greek, it does instill values and it changes you. That's what Greek is supposed to do. It's supposed to help you grow. But you kind of need to decide what you can take from Greek life and what you need to leave. An example of that, something that I went through, was that before I joined Greek, I obviously had a group of friends that had nothing to do with Greek. And then I joined Greek, and I started to let it change me negatively. I started to turn my nose up at my friends, and I was like, oh, well, I'm a Kappa Delta now, and I need to only hang out with Kappa Deltas, and I thought that I was all that in bag potato chips, and my friends were like, no. So that was something, that is part of the Greek mentality. You do start to think that you're all that, and it is great to take pride in your sorority, but I let it change me to where it made me feel like I needed to be clicked up and just hanging out with Kappa Deltas, and I've never been that way. I've always loved hanging out with all different kinds of people. So that's something I had to go back, make apologies, make amends, all that kind of stuff. My parents had to slap me around a little bit to let me know that wasn't who they raised me to be. But you really do need to, kind of learn a little bit, from what I've shared of my mistake. Stay true to yourself. Be you. Let what Greek life can do to enhance who you already are. Let it enhance you. The good things that it can add. Let those things be instilled in you as well. But the negative, anything that makes you turn away from the core of who you are, leave it. It's going to be hard, but definitely, you definitely need to make sure that you're true to yourself above all else. My last and final tip is for you to have fun. That's what Greek life is all about. It's all about going to braziers with your friends and, meeting that girl that you hate and glaring at her across the party, meeting that guy that you're in love with, and going to semis and formals and spring break trips, all of that. That's what Greek life is about. It's about being social, making lifelong friends, having a great time, and also volunteering, building philanthropy. Greek life is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I have never regretted rushing. I've had experiences that none of my other friends have had because they didn't rush Greek. They probably don't feel like they missed out on anything, and they probably didn't. But if I hadn't have rushed, I would have regretted it. I absolutely love my sorority. I love all of my Greek friends, and that was the basis of everything, which was to have fun, enjoy, be good, do good, keep your grades up. There is a grade requirement, and in every sorority it's different. But once again, have fun and be yourself. So if you want to rush, go ahead and rush. It's definitely something that you won't regret. All right, y'all, so that wraps up my video for today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them below. As always, make sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I will be coming back at you guys next week with another video, and I hope y'all have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.